Amazing. As I said, guys, the topic we're going through is you versus you, right? So you need to understand, guys, this is a battle with yourself. It's a battle with your physical and it's a battle with your flesh, right? For those of you that are religious, you have to look at this as it's going to be a spiritual battle as much as a physical battle. So you have to understand, you have to tap into both to understand why you are where you are now and how you need to get from where you are to where you're going to be, right? So the first part of the topic, which we're going to go through, is you versus you, right? This is where you're looking at where you are now and where you want to be. They're not the same person. You have to understand the battles and the trials and tribulations you're going through now. It's because of what you've been doing the past 5, 10, 15 years. The things you've been holding on to for this long is shaped you who you are today. So if you think the person you're going to become in the future, the results that you're looking for, you have to understand now that you cannot be that same person. You cannot have the same judgments you have, the same ego you have, the same beliefs you have. You cannot have that now and expect to get the same results because it's not going to work. It may have got you this far, but it won't get you to where you need to go. Okay. So with this one, you need to understand the battle that you're facing, guys. It's the negative versus the positive, right? You can never get rid of the negative, but you can replace it with a positive. Understanding that the thoughts that you're thinking, the way you're speaking about yourself, the way you're speaking about your team, which I'm going to go into, how you speak about your mentors, and if you're listening or not, it's giving you the results you have now. So you need to change that. Don't expect to get the results you're going to get from this industry or from life in general without making that change. Okay. So when you look at this, guys, change the back end so you can have the front end the way you want it to be. Okay. When I say this, I mean your habits. So people, when they come into this industry of making money online, when they come into the industry of changing the situation, they always say, I don't have time. I don't have money. I don't have experience. I don't have the network. I don't have a job. You're just focusing on the negative things. You're focusing on the things that the reason why you're doing this in the first place. You're doing this because you don't have these things. So stop using that as an excuse to not be doing what you're meant to be doing, right? You can always spare time because there's 24 hours in a day. Just because I'm where I am and people say, oh yeah, Joe, you're speaking because of where you are, it doesn't mean I was always in this position. Okay. So you have to look at it as, okay, cool. I said I don't have time. Let's map out your days. Let's see what you do with your 24 hours. So you know you can understand what you need to put in instead of just saying I don't have time. Find out what you're doing on a 24-hour basis. How does your day look like? And now how can you put in your time? Where can you squeeze 30 minutes here? Where can you squeeze in an hour here? Because guys, all you need is around an hour and a half a day. And in the day that we have 24 hours, I'm pretty sure you can find it. Okay. The second thing, people say, "Oh yeah, I don't have the experience." How can you have the experience without doing the work? The work comes from the experience you're doing. People say, "Oh yeah, I'm not as experienced as this person. I don't talk like this person or have the sales experience." Guys, you do not need to be good at sales. You don't need to be good at maths to actually be doing this. You need to be duplicatable. That's what you need to be. You need to be able to coach. You need to be coachable. You need to have the coachability index to understand that I just need to copy these people that have the results so you can gain the experience and get the results they have, right? So that means that now you need to look at what is it that you're looking for and who has it and what you need to do to get it, right? Also, social skills, guys. We speak to people on a day-to-day basis. You may share your favorite restaurant. If you get an Uber, you may share the link with your friend. You're already promoting things that are not paying you or giving you results. Why not utilize something that's going to give you great results, give you the ability to get paid, so now you can get the money that you're looking for, right? This industry has the vehicle. You are the person. You need to just plug into the vehicle to get the results, right? All you have to do, if you're looking at it from a financial standpoint, if you make £50 a day, which could be your target, by the end of the month, you're £1,000 up. Now you have the capital. So now we've eliminated the time because all you have to do is squeeze in 30 minutes an hour day on a spare on a day-to-day basis. The money aspect of it, you could build a business, you can trade. You don't need a lot of capital. You just need to be disciplined and focused while utilizing the system, right? And regarding, okay, cool, I don't have the experience, leverage someone that has the experience. This is where you have mentors, right? So instead of listening to yourself, because remember, guys, you got your own results. The reason why you have the results you have is because of you. Now, for you to get the results that other people have, you can't be listening to you. It does not work that way. You have to be listening to the person that has the results so you can now gain the results. That's the only way it works. People say, how do I get experience? Go find someone that has the experience. They will give you the opportunity of gaining experience. Okay. You don't have to be full-time in this industry to benefit. You can do this part-time. So understand your old habits or yourself right now, you need to reverse that and become the person you want to now attain the things that you want. So the lifestyle you want, the financial stability, the mental stability, the physical, you now have to look at people that have it. What are they doing on a day-to-day basis? What are they plugging into on a day-to-day basis to now attain it, right? So that's the first one. You want to make sure the person you are today, you have to understand and eliminate that person and now become the person you need to become. If you ask, for instance, Mr. Bonds, the first time I met him, I followed him around for 2 hours. He could vouch. I followed him for 2 hours because I seen he had what I wanted. Guys, I followed him and he can vouch for himself. 6 months into my journey, I now was able to attain what he took him 2 years. Why? I copied someone that had the results. I removed my own negative side and I put his positive side. Now I got the result. It's not a coincidence. I can name more people. I can name someone that has copied me. If you look at Archie, 6 months in, he got what I have. Now he's able to do it full time on a full time basis. All you have to do now is say to yourself, you don't have the results yet, but let me go copy someone that has it so you can now attain it. All right. The next part we're going to go on to is listening versus hearing. Now, people say this all the time. Yeah, I'm listening. I'm listening. I'm listening. You're not listening. You're speaking. There's a difference, right? And this goes for mentors and mentees. You have to understand that, guys, there's a very big difference between when you're listening to someone and when you're actually speaking. Okay? When you're listening, right, you have to look at who are you listening to. People say, oh yeah, I'm listening to my mom, I'm listening to my dad, I'm listening to my friends and family, but they don't have what you want. Oh yeah, I'm going to uni to listen to my lecturer. He's speaking about business, but he's never ran a business. That's great news, right? Compared to who you're meant to be listening to. Oh yeah, my mentors, they have the results. I'm listening to David Emanite's audio. He has the results, right? I'm listening to Kevin Trudeau. He has their results. Compared to you're listening to someone, I always tell my mom respectfully, you do not have what I'm looking to attain. Okay. So I can listen to you for parenting advice because she raised 7 kids, which was amazing. But I can't listen to her about a business that she's never ran or she's never made 6 figures in a business. It does not make sense. Right. So when people are saying, who are you listening to? Some people say, oh yeah, I did this because I I told myself told me this. Someone said, I'm posting on social media because I thought it was the best way. No, copy the script. Who said this is how you do social media? Follow it. You don't have to invent the wheel. You don't have to re-engineer everything. You just have to be duplicatable. Copy and paste. We do it in trading. Let's do it in life, right? But copy the people that have the results so you can now attain it, right? Guys, sorry, something's popped up. Okay, the next thing you want to go through, guys, is when your mentors are speaking, are you hearing what they're saying? This is very important, right? Not are you speaking when they're talking, are you actually taking note of what they're saying so you can now implement it, right? I always see people, they go to their mentors, they ask them for advice and then do the opposite. Your mentors, guys, I promise you now, yeah, your mentors will leave you behind, respectfully. If they see, oh yeah, they're just asking me for advice and they do the complete opposite, or they're not willing to hear what I just said. The reason why mentors tell you things is not to boss you around. It's because they experience what you experience and they don't want you to experience the same thing. They're saying to you, okay, cool. Instead of you just doing your own way and failing, they're going to tell you what happened to them so you don't go through the whole mistake. Hence why you have mentors. The reason why you have, for instance, a Josh, a Malando, a Sammy, they have experience. They're giving you their experience so you can get the result quicker, not slower. Not so you can spend the same amount of time trying to get the same results, right? So are you hearing what they're saying, or are you just trying to listen and do what you want to do? Okay? They tell you things to take action. There's no point of asking for information that you're not going to take action in the same day. That's the whole point of having a mentor, is so you can quickly take action and now start seeing results. Myself, I don't tend to listen to myself. I listen to Rio, Josh, Melando, Sammy, because they have it what I wanted. Now I'm going to take in their information so I can get there quicker. Okay, let me just mute. Okay, it just means that now you can now get the results you're looking for. If you're looking for trading results, if you're looking for how to build a business, get to 1K, 2K, 5K. Guys, we have the people. You just now have to be willing to take in the information. Have the humility. Recognize that you don't have it. Who has it? How can I get it? That's the whole purpose of this industry. That's the reason why we have the group chats, the calls that we have, the trainings we have. It's so that people can actually now attain it without having gone through all the trials and tribulations. So remember, who are you listening to? And are you actually hearing the information, or are you just listening and replying? It's very important. They're two different things. When you understand the difference, that's when you start taking action. When you start taking action, you now start seeing results, right? And the third part we're going to go into is speaking, right? I want everyone to drop in the chat. If you're a 1K and above, do not answer this question, because I know you 1Ks are gonna 2Ks and 5Ks are gonna start saying stuff. But who do you speak to the most on a day-to-day basis? If you're a 1K and above, do not look in the chat box. Do not even message in the chat box, because okay, your mentors are speaking to you. Anyone else? Anyone else? Any other questions? Who do you speak to the most? None. Man said none. Yourself. Okay, amazing. Guys, you speak to yourself on a day-to-day basis. And of everyone that said yourself, do you speak to yourself positively or negatively on a day-to-day basis? Answer that question, please, if you don't mind me asking. Answer that question. Do you speak negatively, or which one do you do the most? Everyone's saying both. Guys, don't lie to yourselves. Amazing. We got some truth. Guys, it's so crazy to me that so many people speak so negatively to yourself, but you wouldn't do it to a stranger, or you wouldn't do it to a family member. Not knowing it affects yourself more than it actually affects the family member. Because when you speak so negatively, you portray negative traits. You see things so negatively. Why do you think when people say people are so closed-minded, they're so closed-minded because they're so negative? People that are so positive, they're so open to opportunities. They're so open to new suggestions. They're so open to change. When you're open to change, you're very positive. When you're so against change, you're very negative. Your mindset is very closed. So you have to understand, guys, the most dangerous conversations you do have is with yourself, right? It's not the world. It's not your boss. It's not your family members. It's actually yourself. So when you're speaking so negatively about yourself, you know you're putting yourself in a position that is not letting you strive. How can you grow, or how can you develop when you're so negative? You get me? Like you're, as Mia said, your worst enemy is yourself. So when you're speaking so negatively, you're never gonna actually achieve what you need to achieve, right? I always tell people, especially if you're in my inner circle, I always tell people, you're not having a bad day, you're having a bad hour. There's a difference, right? Just because something happened, oh yeah, I lost a trade, I blew my account, someone said no, I woke up late, it doesn't mean you're having a bad day. You had a bad hour, maybe about 2 hours, right? Some people, they live life so freely that, oh my God, this happened. Like I was listening to a David Emenite clip, and he was going through what God stands for. And he wasn't talking in the biblical sense. He was talking in the sense of goals over distractions, right? And he was speaking on the sense of, he was at a seminar, and his car got stolen. Now, guys, drop a two in the chat if you would get angry if your car got stolen. Drop a two in the chat. Guys, his his um his Range Rover Cullinan got stolen from a hotel. Do you know what he did? He laughed. The car's insured. It got stolen from a hotel. He laughed it off, right? And when he was speaking on it, look else did I cry. When he was speaking on it, he spoke in the sense of, you know what? Yes, it got stolen, but there's nothing. Why cry over spilled milk? There's nothing you can do about it. Yes, the police are gonna come. They end up finding the car an hour later. There was no real damage done, but he's seen it as, you know what? There's so many bigger things happening in the world. Like things are you're still fine. You still have all the things God has actually given you, right? So you should see it as, guys, when things happen in life, don't just take it as, oh my God, my life is over. I blew my account. Oh my God, how am I gonna survive? Or I lost a trade, or someone left my team. Oh my God, what am I gonna do? Guys, no offense, life is gonna move on. If you're not gonna think about it 6 months to a year from now, there's no point to crying over right now. I always tell people what's done is already done, right? So when you're seeing that, guys, every single day when you're speaking to yourself, try actually track what you're saying to yourself. Try track the information that's actually going into your brain. Are you taking in positive information? Are you listening to the right audio, the right music if you're listening to music? Or are you taking in negative? Some people wake up to K-Trap. Some people wake up to what is it, Little Baby, just screaming in the air. Like, what is going on? Like, first, I listen to gospel music now, so my thing is a bit nice if you listen to. But guys, you have to understand what is actually entering your brain on a day-to-day basis. What do you say to yourself, and is it portraying something that you want to become? Because as a man thinketh, so is he. What you speak to yourself, that's what you are. You're speaking what you are. You need to speak what you're gonna become. Listen to that again, guys. You shouldn't be speaking what you are. You need to speak what you want to become. So the type of person you want to become, the lifestyle you want, you need to speak that into existence, because when you speak that and you start to live that, you will now become that. Right? Very important. So are you speaking life into yourself? Are you speaking positivity? Are you speaking your future goals into yourself? Do you speak excitement? When you wake up, you're, oh, I can't wait for today. I can't wait for today to continue. I can't wait to smash up my goals today. I can't wait to get closer to my end goal. I can't wait to get 1% better. You have to ask yourself, are you speaking your future life, or are you speaking the past? Because some people, they speak about the past. Some people love speaking about the past so much, it's like, bro, it's gone, it's finished. You're never going to get that back. Time is the one thing you can never get back. So start speaking what you're going to now become, because that's what's going to get you closer to where you need to go to, right? You have to understand where you are today is not where you're going to be in the next year. You're the only one that decides that. So you now have to take the steps. And I always ask people this. Are you taking the steps today that's going to get you to your future in the next 3 to 6 months to a year? Or are you taking the steps today for today's pleasures? People love enjoying today's moment as it's their pleasure. You need to understand today, it may not affect you today. It may not affect you tomorrow. It may affect you from 6 months, or 3 years down the line. The decisions you make today will not always affect you today. You need to understand that, because that's very powerful. You may not see it as anything, but the things you do today, it'll reap the benefits of it later on. It could be a negative. So you have to understand, you have to be very, very intentional. Okay. The next thing we're going to go into is blockages. Guys, you have a mental blockage in your brain right now. Right. If you've been here one day, 1 week, all the way down to even 3 years, you have blockages. You have things you need to get rid of, right? For some of you that were here around a year ago, Kevin Trudeau, they spoke about mental blockages. They spoke about getting rid of what you have now and replacing it. Because you have to remember, guys, Just like energy, it can't be destroyed. It can only be transformed, right? So when you look at the things, the blockages you have, these are the things that are stopping you from becoming the person you intend to become. So now you have to understand the bad habits that you have today. We all have them. I have bad habits. I'm not a perfect human being. I'm far from perfect. I promise you that. But the blockages that you have today, you now have to understand they're creating your reality, right? So you have to understand that what you're constantly doing on a day-to-day basis, if it's not getting you closer to your goals, you need to get rid of that. That could be friends, that could be family, that could be social, what's on your social media feed on a day-to-day basis. That could be the people you're speaking to on a day-to-day basis. You have to understand, respectfully, if it's not bringing something into your life, you need to get rid of that out of your life. You need to replace that from your life, right? So if you wake up late, start to wake up early, right? If your eating habits are terrible, start to fix your eating habits. It doesn't mean you don't have to eat. It just means you need to eat that's gonna you need to eat foods that benefit you in the long run. You need to start doing practical things. I always tell my team about IPAs, income producing activities. You need to start doing things that's gonna allow you to get there a lot quicker. Okay? Like you don't have to change everything in a day or in an hour or in a month, but you can take steps every single day, right? One of my mentors, she always says to me is, you don't need to be 100% every day, but if you're 1% better every day, you're 365% better every single year, right? So that means that every day you could get better. That's a choice. You can be 1% better than you were yesterday. You just have to do it that extra percent. Okay? People say, I don't have time to go to the gym. Change your schedule. People that have been full-time in this industry, guys, they sacrificed, right? When I say they sacrifice their time. The only reason why I'm here today is because I woke up earlier. I was working. I'll tell you my daily routine when I was having a job, guys. I woke up at 5 o'clock in the morning. I got to work. I did everything I need to do in the morning, and I got to work for 6:30. From 6:30, I start prepping. Some of you that know my story, I was working in Five Guys. I was prepping. I was making sure everything is ready. I'll be in work from 6:30 till about 6 in the evening. When I finish in the evening, what I would do now is I would trade a little bit more and I would educate myself. I'd educate myself on the business. I'd educate myself on how the system works. So now I can put myself in a position that when I quit my job, I can do what I need to do. By the time I got to 8 o'clock, I'd go training. I'd train for 2 hours. After training, I'd get home. I'd work for another 2, 3 hours, go to bed and rinse and repeat. I did that for 4 months straight, consistent. 4 months. 4 months later down the line, comes. Whoa. 4 months down the line, March comes, I quit my job. It is not a coincidence. I'll give you another example. Archie. Archie was working from sometimes 1 p.m. to 10 p.m. Me and him will have calls from 10 p.m. to 12 or 1 a.m. in the morning. Back to back days. Every single day. We did it for 6 months. He quit his job. It's not a coincidence. It really is not a coincidence, guys. It just means that we're willing to sacrifice. People say, I don't have time. Every time you make an excuse for what you can't do, that's why you're doing it in the first place. I don't have time. This is going to give you more time. My family, you're doing this so you can have more time with your family. My kids, you're doing this so you can spend more time with your kids. My job, you're doing this so you can get out of your job. Stop using that as an excuse because your excuses, respectfully, no one cares about your excuses because success does not care. Success cares if you did it or not. It may sound brutal, but it's the truth. The reason why people are successful is because they did the things that they were meant to do to make them successful in the first place. It's not luck. People always say, oh my God, it's luck. Give them all the luck because they're doing what it takes to get the luck in the first place. So if you're sitting in your situation right now and you're saying to yourself, oh my God, my job, my kids, my family, guys, understand you're never going to get anywhere with that excuse. That excuse is going to, it only sounds good to you or to those that are willing to listen to it. Because people that get what they want, they did it because they did it regardless of how they felt. Right? I just seen Sammy's name in the chat box. She said it. She went to bed at 2 o'clock in the morning, woke up around 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, so she can get ready for a mindset call. She doesn't have to do the mindset call, but she knows that she has a standard to set. She has responsibilities and duties to uphold. She made a commitment, a signed agreement with herself that she's going to do the mindset call. So she got up regardless of how she felt. Okay. Some people press snooze and expect themselves to win the same day. What you do, how you do everything is how you're going to do anything. So remember to yourself, guys, the things that are stopping you from getting you where you want to be, you have to ask yourself, are you willing to sacrifice that to get what you need to get? I tell my family all the time, guys, the reason why I'm so busy all the time is because one day you will understand, right? My mentor said this to me once. He goes to me, you have to understand when you tell someone to do something, they're never going to understand it. They may one day understand this. And I spoke to one of my mentees about this, and I said, the reason why I told you to come to the office, or the reason why I told you to come to events, now you're understanding why 3 months down the line. If you came 3 months ago, the results you have now, you would have had it then. But the reason why is because you never understood. We don't tell you things to tell you things. We tell you things to get you there quicker. Okay? Our job is to get you our results quicker. So if you're not willing to do what we did, it's impossible to get there quicker. Okay? And then the last thing we're gonna go through is just do it now. People always settle for the excuse of I'll start the gym on Monday. I'll start posting next week. I'll start pushing the business when I make consistent profits. I'll start doing it this guys. It's just another excuse. You're just covering over what is meant to be done. Just get it done today. A TikTok takes 2 seconds, guys. I've shown people this. I can make a TikTok in 60 seconds. An intro, a middle, and an end with a call to action. I'm not a professional. I've just copied the system. Okay? People say, oh yeah, I will get started when this happens. Those people don't tend to get started, or those people don't tend to achieve anything, because the whole point of having a New Year's resolution, yeah, is to keep your New Year's resolution where it was at the start of the year. It's not to carry it on to the end of the year. Because people say, oh yeah, I can't wait to do this when this happens. Most time, the only reason why it's stopping you from getting there is it's usually just money. And if money is not the factor, it's just laziness. But laziness comes from loss of direction. I always tell people are not lazy, they just don't know what they're meant to be doing. Hence, where you have people around you showing you, not telling you, but showing you what is meant to be done so you can then do it. So all you have to do it now. Because even myself, I always tell myself, I might as well just do it now. Because if I don't do it now, I'm not going to do it later. I'm not going to lie to you. I've said it before back in the day. I'll do it later. I forget about it. But if you do it now, at least it's done. The satisfaction of having it done now than having to do it. Like, for instance, there was an instance when I was back in Dublin. My mom told me, oh yeah, if you don't mind, can you change the mattress? Right? I said, no problem, I'll do it. Guys, this was in January, right? My mom called me. She's like, oh yeah, by the way, I'll be home in like half an hour. Did you end up changing the mattress? I goes, yeah. You know how quickly I ran up the stairs? Do you know how quickly I ran up to change that mattress and put on the new one? It just showed that, guys, we just need to get rid of these habits. Okay? The only way you get rid of a bad habit is replace it with a new habit. Okay? For me, I love eating chocolate. Amazing. So what I do is I work out 7 days a week. I just put in the work. So that means that, okay, cool, I can have a bit of chocolate here and there, knowing that I'm working 7 days, I'm working out 7 days a week, my body's gonna stay in great shape. I just understand that is what I want. This is what I need to do to get it. Okay, so your current reality is not going to be your future reality if you're willing to change. And for those that are willing to change, understanding that with change comes with growth. When you change, you grow. When people are not willing to grow, they're never going to change. Guys, you really have to understand that. I say that with all the love and respect. Those that are uncomfortable with growth, they're never going to change. Growth is so uncomfortable for some people. Some people see growth and they're telling themselves, I don't like that. Oh, I have to do this. I don't know. I have to cut out this. I need to throw in my PlayStation. I need to start eating properly. I need to start putting in 100%. We always say, show me your habits and I'll show you your future. Okay. So guys, that is the end of my segment. I hope he's got value. I hope he's got insight and knowledge. I love that we stayed in the 60 mark, which is absolutely phenomenal. That means that people actually took action on what we're doing. Because, guys, this is a movement. Whether you like it or not, things are going to change. And you're either going to get left behind or you're going to be a part of the team. Because I said to my team respectfully, Portugal is around the corner. Don't call me asking for trading if you're not in Portugal. Do not call me because my phone's on DND. I promise you that my phone is going to be on DND. So get yourself to Portugal because there's no point of saying you want to win big and you're not at Portugal. Okay. And also, guys, I want you to all drop a 7 in the chat if you got your ticket for the 7th of March, the London event. Drop a 7 in the chat box. Okay. I want to see who got their ticket for the London event. Drop a 7 in the chat. Guys, if you do not have your ticket for Portugal, can someone send a ticket link, please? Send it into all the group chats. Send it into the Zoom call right now. Don't tell me, Joey, I want to change. Joey, I heard your call inspirational and you don't have a ticket. Get your goddamn ticket because there's no point of being on this call. Wherever you are, there's no point of being in this industry if you're not at events. Event stands for elevate vision, eliminate negative thoughts. You have to get rid of what you have now to get what you need to get. So make sure you're at the event. It's the only way you can now understand why the people are the way they are. The leaders are the way they are. How do you get there? Get yourself to an event. Right. So on the 7th of March, guys, make sure you're at the event. Make sure when you get your ticket, send it into the group chat. Send a screenshot. Let people know you're going to be there. Okay? Because the event is simply going to change your life. I promise you that. Events, it just gives you that next level of belief every single time. That extra bit of desire. You just feel that extra bit of oomph when you get to an event and you see how it was. Because the event we just had on Saturday was unbelievable. The one on the 7th is going to be even double. Okay, guys. So I definitely encourage you to do that. One of the leaders, can you drop it in the chat, please? Because I know these tickets are gonna go fast. A lot of people are gonna be getting tickets, so make sure. Can one of the leaders please drop that in the chat box, please? Because this event is not gonna be